Hi, this is Lorene, and I'm going to do another video. If you'll give me a second to clear, center, and balance my energy, we'll get started. I was guided to start this video a little bit differently because of information that has come in. I received some guidance and advice on ways to improve my videos. And I truly appreciate any constructive criticism or anything that helps me be better in expressing the messages or conveying information, the information I'm guided to provide. And I'm very conscientious about what I do and how I do it. One of the most important things about what I do when I create this video or create these videos is it always has to be about divine guidance. It always has to convey the messages that I am meant to share. And that means I must convey those messages in the moment, right now. There are circumstances where I have written in my journal and I've read out of my journal on the videos to share those messages. But that information that's written in my journals is in that moment. That could be, most people would call that automatic writing. So the message comes in, I start receiving messages, and then it just starts kind of blowing up, and I just start writing, and the information just comes in, and then I share that on the video. But also, recently I've been guided to share it in the moment, not to write it down, because I share what I'm meant to share in the moment as I'm guided. So I am guided not to prepare. I am guided not to have like a script or a outline of what I'm to say, right? I don't prepare that way. I sit, I clear, center, and balance my energy, and I receive the messages and I convey them in the moment. I'm not expressing opinions. I'm sharing information as it comes to me in the moment. And that is clear. That is very clear. The messages are very clear. That is what I am meant to do. So that is what I do. The other thing, and I notice this myself when I'm editing the videos, is I use I statements a lot. And even when I'm editing the videos, I notice I'm using I statements a lot. And so I thought about that, how to better convey the information, because I feel like sometimes when you say I a lot, it can indicate ego, okay? And when I was thinking about this week, and I was thinking about what I had discussed with someone, a friend, the message came in very clear as I'm just thinking about this. First, I have had many experiences in my life. I have had massive spiritual experiences. I have had massive shifts energetically happen to me just in the last 7 years. And what I am meant to do And what I am meant to share are those experiences from my perspective. That's what I'm meant to do. It's clearly shared with me. You have to use I statements because this is your experience. If you try to speak collectively or generally, it will not convey the proper message. That is what I am guided. I'm guided. What they say to me, what I hear from the source, from my higher self, is you have had these experiences for a reason, and you are meant to share your personal experiences and how you interpret those experiences and what those experiences have meant to you and how they've changed you. That is what you are meant to share. And so you share that authentically from yourself, from who you are. Because every single person on this planet is going to go through what you're going through. And it is important for you to share your experiences to help them prepare for what they are going to go through. Through this experience, I have been guided to not read books, not take classes, not listen to other people, to listen to the higher self, tap into the higher self, find the higher self, find your connection to divinity, the source, the creator of all things, and connect and receive the messages that you're meant to have. Receive the experiences you are meant to receive. Receive the knowledge, the wisdom that you are meant to have to execute on this planet that will help you fulfill your path and purpose, that will help you be the person you are meant to be on this world in this lifetime. The 2 books I have read would be Michio Kaku's Hyperspace, which I needed more information about. I felt like I needed more information about quantum theory, theoretical physics, from a layman's perspective. And the book, The Body's the Barometer of the Soul by Annette Noontil, I was drawn to that to help me understand how my body is speaking to me about what I am meant to do or what I need to work on spiritually, on the spiritual plane and on the physical plane. I did have 4 past life regressions. The first 2 actually were past life regressions. The third hypnotherapy session was, I asked if my guides could just tell me what I needed to know. And the 4th one was the same. Asked my guides to tell me what I needed to know to help me on my path and purpose. And everything else that I've conveyed on this channel in my videos is received through divine guidance, received through my connection to the higher self and to the divine, to the source, to the creator of all things. Everything I have shared with you comes through that source. That is what I've been guided to do. And so what the message was very clear is you have to speak from I, because you are not speaking from anybody else's experience. This is your experience. You must use I. I am. That's what's coming through right now. I am. I have. And so I'm not trying to tap into ego. I'm not trying to say I'm better than anybody else. And I've said this many times. This is a journey we are all on together. We are here to help one another. We are here to support one another from a place of unconditional love, compassion, kindness, steadfastness, forgiveness. Bring joy, love into each other's lives to heal this planet, heal every piece of energy on this world, and when I say every piece of energy, I just mean every plant, animal, the soil, the rocks, the sky, the air, everything in Mother Earth and her field. And from that place, we project that love, that energy out into the universe and help heal the universe. And so that's what came in most strong this week when I was just thinking about what the help I was being offered, the information I was being offered. I had to think about that and how do I reconcile that within myself. Another very strong message that came in was any information that comes from outside the self, outside of this, my energy field, outside of my connection to my higher self and the source, must be discerned. I must discern that information. What is the intention of that information? How can I utilize that? Am I meant to utilize that information? Am I meant to integrate and reconcile that information into my path and purpose? Okay, into what I am here to do. That was very clear, because that was very clear for me, because what we know on this world and what we've experienced on this world is we have a lot of information coming from outside sources, whether it be the TV, media, right? School, our parents, work, anything. Live concerts, plays, anything. We have information coming in constantly. And we process all that information, whether it's through the conscious mind or the subconscious mind. We process that information. And we respond to that information, whether it's from the conscious mind or the subconscious mind, right? We bring that information in and we respond to the world with that information or through that information. That information is integrated into our consciousness, okay? Whether or not we know it or not, whether or not we are aware of it or not. And it is executed through how we respond to the world, okay? How we respond to people at work, how to respond to our friends, how to respond to our family, our children, how we respond to the person that takes our tickets at the movie theater, how we respond to the person on the stewardess on the flight, right? Every single interaction that we have, how we respond to the world, is a product of all the information that comes in, how we process that information, order it, and choose to use it, okay? How do we choose to use that information? The choice that we make is demonstrated in how we treat people in the world, how we treat the land, how we treat the bus driver, how we treat the airline stewardess, how we treat the taxi driver, how we treat our children, our teachers, our coworkers, the land, the animals, everything, okay? So discernment of the information that's coming into us is paramount, okay? It's very important on how we receive that information and how we utilize it. Does this information have value? Yes. How can I use it for the greater good? To promote unconditional love, compassion, kindness, forgiveness, right? Patience. And so that came in very strong to share. It was very important to share. And it was very deep in my body. I felt it deep in my body as something that needed to be shared. Everything I share is authentically divine guidance. And it is meant to be shared. And it is my experience. And it's not from ego. Anything I say is meant to help you on your journey, help you reconcile truths or experiences, or help you to find a synchronicity that brings meaning into your life. Okay? I was watching Redemption with Jason Statham. I always want to put an R in his name, but I believe it's Jason Statham. And actually, I think I've watched 3 movies and referred to them in my videos, which I do not believe that is coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. It's a synchronicity. But there's a scene. He is someone who's had a very tragic experience, which led him on a very dark path. Okay, a very sad path. A path of deep internal conflict. And he is befriended by a nun. And there's an interaction that happens. The nun explains to him how she became a nun. And she shares her deep, dark secret with him. And it's very profound. I don't want to ruin the movie, and maybe you won't even watch it, but it's a very profound experience, because the very clear message that came in when I was watching the movie was that those of us who have been through very traumatic experiences, and those of us who have done things that we feel guilty about, that we feel remorse over, those things that we feel we can't share with anybody else, we seem to be more open to talk to someone who we perceive as having the same traumatic events or the same pain as us more openly than we would anybody else. Okay? And that doesn't even have to be a crime, right? Something violent. Being molested as a child, me, I couldn't talk to anybody about it because I felt so much guilt and shame about that secret. Never talked to anybody for decades about that. And when I finally was open enough to share it, it was with someone who I felt had as much pain and trauma as I did, that could relate to it and would not judge me. Okay? So that's what happened when I saw that scene where she shared like her deepest, darkest sadness and her deepest, darkest pain with someone else who had deep sadnesses and pain. I had this epiphany that it is important for me to share my story, my pain, my trauma, so people don't feel so alienated, so people can relate to what I'm saying, who I am, what I've been through, my experiences, because they show that I'm human, right? They show that I've been where you are. There's so many people in this world that are trying to save it, right? Save it. They have no idea where we've been and what we've been through. My daughter watched Ghandi, and I watched it with her. And there's a great scene in there where he's trying to advocate for the people in the fields. And he says none of the politicians can possibly understand what any of these farmers are going through. They have no idea because they've never been there and they've never done it. They're completely out of touch with their people. And that is where we are right now. This transition that we're going through is about people helping people. It's about seeing this world from a different place and rebuilding from a different place. And the people who are going to do that are the people who have been the stewards of this world without even knowing it. And it's the people who have done it from love, compassion, kindness, forgiveness, understanding, right? Our farmers have been taking care of our land. Horticulturalists, florists, people who grow flowers that I put in my flower arrangements, they're taking care of parts of Mother Earth. When I was a kid, forest rangers used to take care of our national parks. Recently, in the last 10 years or so, I was talking to some forest rangers, and they're like, we've become more like police officers for the national parks than forest rangers. But I just want to acknowledge, I think that was always their intention when they went into forestry, is to take care of the land and take care of our parks, take care of the animals within those areas. Native American or Native or Indigenous people at the root were always stewards of this world. Many, it's hard for me to speak about water and the oceans because it's not a place I spend a lot of time on, but the people that I know that work on the water or have spent a lifetime on the seas really have an intense love for that, for the water, and do their best to honor Mother Earth and her oceans. My point in bringing this up is these are the people that will lead the transition of this planet. It's not going to be politicians. It's not going to be politicians. It's not going to be corporations with a lot of money, even though everything that's happening right now looks like they may be the ones who are responsible. There will be actually a short cycle that may present that way, but we are living revelation right now. And again, I was raised from a Christian background, a Catholic background with Christian roots, and I come from that paradigm, but there are many other religions on this planet that have other stories or teachings about end of days or this transition. Okay, so I can't speak to those, but I know they exist. And we will go through a short cycle where it seems like the politicians and the governments, wealthier individuals might be in control, but Revelation says there will be a second coming. There will be a second coming of Jesus Christ, a Savior, someone that will help guide us to a place of unconditional love, compassion, kindness, sincerity, forgiveness, tolerance, where everyone is honored and this world is healed, and it will take us to a different place, a different way of living. But in order for us to go to this new place, to experience this new place, all the old ways will have to come down. they will have to be deconstructed. One thing that just came in very clear is, remember that control is a construct, it's not real. Every time we try to control what is happening, we resist the flow of energy, because the flow of energy is taking us to this place of joy, of love, of compassion, kindness, forgiveness, empathy, compassion. Okay, that is where the flow of energy is taking us. That is where we are meant to go. And if we try to control or direct that energy, we create resistance. Okay. So the guidance and the information that comes in is living our lives from a clear, centered, and balanced place, maintaining that balance, and projecting that energy out. When we live from a balanced place, we sit in the flow of energy, and we allow that flow of energy to take us where we're meant to go. Okay? Give me a second. So there really isn't any more information coming in, except for what came in very clearly when I closed my eyes is acknowledge the I am state. Acknowledge your I am state. Okay? Acknowledge your I am state. And I'm just going to add, every time I clear my energy and my kids' energy, I'm always seeing a Fibonacci spiral, a void, and a light, a bright light. And it is a very clear message of creation. The Fibonacci spiral is a mathematical sequence that is found in everything in the universe. It's a foundation for creation, and all creation is manifested from the void, from the divine consciousness, and projected into this reality, this plane of existence, with a spark or a light. Okay? Acknowledge your I am state and your creative genius. That's what I'm feeling, and that's what I'm getting right now. Acknowledge your I am state and your creative genius, your ability to make this world a beautiful place, the beautiful place that you want to live in, you want to exist in. It will be a manifestation from your consciousness, from your divine consciousness. Okay. All right, that's it. Thank you.